Hello, welcome to the Mosaic International South Asian Film Festival, Misaff, presented by the Canadian Community Arts Initiative, CCAI. Welcome to our virtual Red Carpet Gala. My name is Arshad Khan, and I am the festival director. It is my great pleasure to now introduce you to our MISAF team, starting with the CCAI Advisory Board member for MISAF, Anya McKenzie.
A big thank you to CCI, who is presenting MISAF this year. I'd also like to thank our sponsors and the generosity of our donors, including Telefilm Canada, ACTRA Diversity, ACTRA Toronto, the Ontario Arts Council, and last but not least, our favorite food sponsor, Karai Boys. It is such a pleasure to welcome you all to MISAF. We also want to thank TIFF, our co-presenting partner for opening night of featuring Funny Boy. We're so excited for that. TIFF is also our digital host for the festival. We could not do this without their help. And I would like to thank also our fellow film festival partners who are continuing to create a space for independent voices and cinema in these challenging times. This light is so vital and so important to our industry, and we continue to remain relevant, engage in cinema, and carry the light forward. It's now my great pleasure to introduce the tour de force behind Mosaic Festival and the artistic director for CCAI, the lovely Asma Mahmood, to say a few words for us tonight.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the virtual MISAF red carpet. We do miss all those last many years of the vibrant red carpet energy that we used to have, everybody dressing up in their best and meeting all the artists. It was the liveliest scene in Mississauga as far as film in Mississauga is concerned. But once we have met this challenge head on, we will be ready to do everything the same way next year. So once again, welcome. I am very pleased to welcome you all on behalf of the chair of Canadian Community Arts Initiative, Shefali Ranjan, the founder of CCAI and Mosaic Festival and RTC, and Arshad Mahmood, and the rest of the team of our board of directors. Our directors have worked really hard throughout the year, and this time, as we see this challenging time of COVID, we find that our festival director for MISAF, Arshad Khan, Anya McKenzie, and the rest of the team have been very creative in selecting some excellent movies for all of you to enjoy in the safety of your home, because as it says, it's a jungle out there. So stay safe, keep your masks on, and keep washing your hands and enjoy the festival. Thank you very much.
Okay, so as Asma mentioned, this year we are going virtual so that you can all stay safe, stay at home, and watch from home because it's a jungle out there. So here's my mask for the virtual red carpet. And I wanted to start by introducing the rest of our team, starting with festival programmer Shaila Khan.
Thank you, Arshad, and welcome to our virtual red carpet. It has been a great honor to be part of this team of programmers, along with Anya, Arshad, and Sally. We saw some great films from all over the world: Morocco, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, and it was difficult to choose, but we have selected the best of the best for our audience this year, and almost half of the films, I'm excited to say, have been directed by women.
And which ones are you most excited about?
I think I'm most excited. So two are from Pakistan. One is by the renowned actress Sakina Sammo, Intizar, it touches your heart, and it is about waiting and fear and how the family gets together. The second one that I'm most excited about is this cute, amazing film about these two boys from South Africa who are in awe of Bollywood film industry and how they save their families. It's called The Kings of Mulberry Street. And another one that we have as a closing, which I'm very excited about because it got a standing ovation and won an award at Busan, is Salmat Kusat from Pakistan, another acclaimed director. And he's bringing his film, which has not been seen by anyone ever, and it's come to Misaff, so I'm excited about that. And
the film is called Zindagi Tamasha, Circus of Life. It's directed by Salmat Kusat, and that is our closing night film, available on the 12th of December for 12 hours only. So you better get your tickets.
Yeah, the controversy is there, but there's a story, underlying story, which everyone from all walks of life will understand it. So I leave it up to the audience to actually watch the film and talk about it and judge for themselves.
And now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Sally Rilet, who is our short films programmer. Hello, Sally.
Thank you, Arshad. And it was lovely to hear from all of you. It was a great year for short films. We saw hundreds of shorts, and each one better than the last. It was some amazingly talented short filmmakers, and a lot of really beautiful short films made by Canadian filmmakers. We have 5 short film programs this year, which are The Children Are Watching, our Canadian shorts, Her Story to Tell, Spirituality and Connectedness, and Self-Discovery. And these films are directed by a diverse array of talents, and the films themselves come from Canada, India, Pakistan, the US, the UK, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Lebanon, and Iran. And some of the films I'm most excited about, 2 Canadian ones are Klebs and Aniksha. Some other really beautiful ones are Didi, Oru Single Room, and Vest.
That's right. It was literally hundreds of films that we went through, and it was a very difficult year to select the best films because the quality of the films was so fantastic. So thank you, Sally. Next, I'd like to introduce our team member, Zafir Ahmed, who is the print traffic manager this year. Hello, Zafir.
Hello. Hi, everyone. It's great to be back. Although I missed the last couple of years. I missed, like Asma said, I missed the red carpet and everything happening last year's. Those were fun, but this is also great. I was putting all the movies together, and there's some great movies. So this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be exciting, and there's gonna be a new experience.
And it's been so nice working with the very professional team at the Toronto International Film Festival, and they've been guiding us through these learning. It's like a learning curve for us.
They've been very easy to work with. So it's amazing.
So that was some of our fantastic Misaff 2020 team. And now I'll pass it over to Anya McKenzie, who is going to introduce the opening night film that we are doing the Q&A for with a very special local filmmaker. The film is, of course, going to be the world broadcast premiere on CBC Television and CBC Gem, and we are supporting this great, wonderful broadcast. And over to Anya.
It's absolutely thrilling. I am so excited for the rest of Canada and for the Misaff audiences to see this film. It's such an important feature, Funny Boy. The book was written by Canadian Sri Lankan writer Shyam Salvadore. And of course, the wonderful, iconic filmmaker Deepa Mehta is heading up this tour de force of a beautiful telling of inclusion in Canada today. And it's no understatement that she is the Oscar-nominated director for Canada in the times that we are living in. It is so important for you all to watch this film, discuss it, and embrace it. Thank you.
And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the artistic director and co-head of the Toronto International Film Festival, Cameron Bailey.
Hi, I'm Cameron Bailey, the artistic director and co-head of TIFF. We're so pleased to be hosting the Mosaic International South Asian Film Festival and the special presentation of Deepa Mehta's new film, Funny Boy, based on the acclaimed book by Shyam Salvadore. It's a strange time during the pandemic, but we're really glad to be able to bring this special film to you at home, thanks to Arshad Khan and Anya McKenzie and the whole team that puts together Misaff. And we're going to have a virtual red carpet and a Q&A after the film as well. Enjoy.
Next, we are delighted to be presenting a little message from our wonderful mayoress of Mississauga, Bonnie Crombie.
Mayor Bonnie Crombie here. Our city is delighted to support the Mosaic International South Asian Film Festival's online edition. MISAFF is one of Mississauga's most important cultural institutions. And while it's important for people to stay at home and safely physically distance right now, it is still important for arts and culture to thrive. MISAFF has accomplished both by bringing their great festival online this year. Thank you to Arshad Khan, Anya McKenzie, and the CCAI team for continuing this important festival and keeping us entertained during these challenging times. Please stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you and congratulations.
And now it is my great pleasure to introduce you to the stars of this evening, the film team behind Funny Boy, directed by Deepa Mehta, produced by David Hamilton, and distributed by Array Pictures and Ava DuVernay. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor. This is Funny Boy's first red carpet, so it's huge for us. I mean, we're sort of grinning away wildly. Thank you so much, Misaff, for having us. It means a lot. It means a lot because of what Misaff stands for. It means a lot for us on a personal level. And I feel really thrilled to introduce the team that's here from all over the world. Some of them are in Sri Lanka. I know Shiva is in Melbourne, and I know that Howard is in New York, and it's so wonderful because in the world that we live in today, where division and divisiveness is what it seems to be about, here we all are wanting to express solidarity. And more than anybody else, I'm beholden to Shyam Selvadurai, who wrote this book 24 years ago, and I think blew everything out of the ceiling. It's a book about oppression. It's a book about the celebration of solidarity. So thank you, Shyam. Thank you very much. And thank you, both of you, for having us here.
Thank you, and welcome to the virtual Red Carpet Gala, Shyam. How are you?
Excited to be here, Arshad. And thank you very much for having me. It's such an honor and pleasure, and yes, very excited.
Well, the first time I met Shyam was when I was interviewing him for the book Funny Boy sometime in the 90s. And I remember him telling me this story that when he came out to his father immediately called home in Sri Lanka and told all the family that not to send any more proposals because their son is gay. And that just pulled the rug out from under the feet of all these people who were going to talk behind his back and talk about the family. And I thought that was very empowering. And then I read, of course, the book, and the book brought a lot of joy to funny boys and funny girls all over the world. Just like I am absolutely certain the film is going to bring a lot of joy to funny boys and funny girls and all the others across the world. And now I'd like to ask Deepa to introduce the rest of the team.
Thank you so much, Arshad. You all met Shyam, and let's meet the funny boy. Brandon Ingram, there he is. Hi, Brandon.
Hi Deepa. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. How are we?
How are we? I don't know. You tell us. How are you?
Pretty great. A bit restricted, as you know, with everything that's been going on, but super stoked that in the middle of everything that's happening right now globally, that we're still able to celebrate little moments like this, come together like this, as you said, in solidarity. And super excited that this is our first red carpet. And my God, what a journey it's been.
Yay for our wonderful Brandon. I adore him. But then I'm totally partial. You got to know Arshad and Anya. I love every one of those people I can see on the screen. I mean, because you know what happened? People say during a film you become a family, and in post-production you remain a family. But for me, all of us actually are family. We've been through 1 year, ups and downs, the pandemic, We have people actually sitting in their closets recording dialogue for post-production because we couldn't have people in a studio together. It was impossible during COVID. And I know what Howard Shaw, the great Howard Shaw, who's here with us. Hi, Howard. We love you.
Deepa.
We love you so much. I mean, it was amazing. I have to tell you what David and myself did. We sent him the script and we said, I hope in hell that Howard Shaw is going to do the music for this. But he said, I'm interested. And then we went to see him in Rotterdam. We were in Madrid. And we had the most amazing evening. And Howard said something to me which stayed with me, which actually really made me feel he was absolutely the right person to do the music for this film. He said this film is about humanity. And he actually, I don't know if you remember, Howard, why don't you tell them about what you said to me and what the first piece of music was like? It was beautiful.
Right. We met in Rotterdam. I was doing a concert there. And David and Deepa came up and we had dinner with James and Alan. And we talked about the movie. I knew about the book, of course. And Deepa and I had met before this film. And we have tried to work together before. So now the timing was just working out great. And the film was so beautiful. When I saw it, it was very inspiring. We did recordings in very international. We did recordings in Mumbai, in Switzerland, London, and New York. And it's just wonderful to be part of this this evening tonight and honoring this beautiful film.
Thank you, Howard. And now I'd like to introduce you to the leading, I don't know what's politically correct, actor. Nimi, you're an actor, leading actor. Nimi Harsagama lights up the screen as Amma. I love her. She's been there not only during pre-production, production, rehearsals. My God, we had rehearsals coming out of our ears. I think we became a family during our workshops, didn't we? It was amazing. Our workshops led by who you met, Arshad, Neelam Mansingh. And Nimi is luminous. She is, you have to see the film to believe it. She is what I always wanted for Amma. And I think, Sham, you'll agree, as a person who wrote the book, that the slow political awareness of Amma, the way she shifts from being, the housewife, the mother, to somebody who really cares for the homeland is remarkable. And Nimi did this effortlessly. I'm in awe of you, Nimi. And I really love you so much for your dedication, for your effort, and also for your effortlessness. You are amazing. And I can't wait for people to see you. Nimi, everybody meet wonderful Nimi.
Hey, you just blew me away, Deepa. And you know how much I love you, and you know how much I love David, and you've become my family now. And I say that not to be pretentious, it's the absolute truth from my heart. What an experience it was. From the audition to even now, we're still on our journey. And ups and downs and the roller coaster, we're a family. And we stick together, and that's just it. So thank you for that introduction.
I want to say something about Nimi's character and how she played it. It's not easy going against the tide. This is her character. How do you accept difference? How do you accept somebody who you think a certain way, but turns out not to be that way? And I think the answer, and what makes Funny Boy for me really special, and all these people who help to make it special, is that the answer is the only way you can do it. And I don't want to sound soppy, but I really believe it is through love. And that's what we did. If we have to conquer hatred, if we have to conquer differences, if we have to be honest about art, because like Toni Morrison said, all art is political. And I think I know what she meant by that is that in order to overcome differences, we have to learn how to love. And you did that in spades, Amy. And so did you. Meet Ali, everybody, my darling Appa. Arshad, Anya, and I'm sure all of you agree, what Appa was like, he was like the glue that held all the characters together. He made every morning, it was Ali's smile that, it's impossible to be such an optimist. I mean, I think this, Ali, are you really an optimist? I mean, this guy is insane. He is so up all the time and he means it. He held us together. He was the father. He was the father to Shiva. He was the father to Brandon. He was the father to me. And I'm double his age. I mean, and he was the father to David. And he's David. I mean, yeah, there you go. You embraced Appa. You made it possible to show a different aspect of a community. You showed what it means to be defeated. All your values went down through the window, but you kept your dignity. And that's what it's about. You were just wonderful. Everybody meet Ali Kazmi, my darling.
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. I think after that, I'd rather not say anything, to be honest. I mean, what do you expect me to follow Deepa Mehta after? I think my life is fulfilled. Goodbye. But the truth is that I think every day for me, being on set is magic, and that's never changed since I was a kid to today. And especially this film, I'm genuinely very emotional right now. Even talking about it is that it holds a very, very special place in my heart, because I feel that it's something that goes beyond being in a certain country or a certain place. It's a novel and a film that transcends time and transcends the human condition. It's not just meant for whether you're from one place or another. So that's why I'm really happy to actually, I'm really honored to have this chance, and that Deepa and David gave me the opportunity to play a character such as Appa, because he's someone that we all have known. If anybody that's grown up in the 80s and the 90s, you've seen fathers like this, you've seen people like this. And it also goes to show you that just because one is one way doesn't mean that there cannot be another. Just because they don't understand something or because they've grown up differently doesn't mean that they're a terrible human or a bad person. I think, and that's what was interesting with my earlier chats with Deepa as well, that playing Appa is not going to be an evil man, or he's not going to be a terrible man because he cannot stand the fact that his son is gay. You know, that's not the idea. The idea is he just doesn't understand it. He doesn't know what to do. And I think all of us can attest to this, the whole beautiful, beautiful cast and the amazing team that we have for Funny Boy. I think each and every one of us that has had a variety of experiences in different cultures, in theater, film, television, I think all of us can come together for Funny Boy and can truly cohesively say that the experience for Funny Boy, which happened the same time last year in Sri Lanka, those 2 months that we were all together, from the rehearsals to coming together for the characters and creating this film, there's a certain magic that surrounds this cast and crew, and there's a certain magic that surrounds this film. And I, for one, am very, very happy for people to get to see it very soon. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ali. I was very curious about how Deepa and Shyam cast you in this very pivotal role, very important role in the film.
Yeah, I think that the beauty of the whole process was, I was really shocked and really happy as well that I got to play this role of a lifetime. And being an actor of Pakistani descent and being in Canada, I think we can all attest to this as well, is that seldom does one get to be one of the leads and one of the main cast in such a beautiful film. And being a brown actor, being a South Asian actor in Canada, these opportunities do not come by often, if not at all, really. It was very, very important to me and all of us to try to do justice and try to depict the character as authentically as possible.
Amazing. Amazing. I see that Rehan has joined us as well. And Rehan is one of the actors in Funny Boy, but he is also wearing two hats at Misaff this year because he has a beautiful short called Didi, which is in our shorts program, a short film from Sri Lanka. Welcome, Rehan.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, man, this is super exciting and really humbling. My very first film was selected by you for Mosaic about 8 years back, and it's great to be back with two films this year. It's amazing, Funny Boy and Didi. Thank you so much for having me.
That's outstanding. What a memory. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's lovely, Rehan, who played Shehan, RG's lover, and so beautiful. I mean, I think that Shyam said it best. You said that Shyam was half Tamil and half Sinhalese. Said that for him, the fact that RG is Tamil and Shehan is Sinhalese, and they fall in love with each other, is so important. Because that's what gives us hope for unity. Differences fall apart because love is the most important. And I think you were just lovely. Your chemistry, both of you guys, were just fantastic. And everybody who hasn't seen the film, and most of you haven't seen the film. I mean, my favorite scene with them is when they dance to Stings. This is making Brandon really angry with me. I can see it. And to Stings, every breath you take. I mean, they are luminous, both of them. This is no dialogue, there's nothing, but there's so much love. It's beautiful. It really is. So welcome, Shehan. Welcome so much. And on the other extreme, we have Shiva joining us from Melbourne. Shiva plays the wonderful Tamil tiger who is, he plays it wonderfully. And he does it such service because it is, what is the terrorist? I mean, he plays the Tamil tiger as a person who is so compassionate, who is fighting for a homeland with questioning, without rancor. And Shiva did a wonderful job. Hi, Shiva. Where are you?
Deepa, David, everyone, Arshad. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. Look, this journey is something that is part of the journey of life, right? And we have little windows that we celebrate, and this is a window for me that it's just a blessing on so many levels to be able to work with David and Deepa ji, to be able to meet, all of you as human beings and as actors. I think suffering is universal, right, in life, and I think as you live through life, you start understanding what your purpose is. And as much as I'm an actor, at the heart of it, I'm a human being, and how do I bring human beings together through my art, and how do I perpetuate that and use art as a vehicle to remind us that, hey, at the end of the day, human beings have divided us into binary equations. You're either gay or you're straight, you're black or you're white, you're Christian or you're Muslim, or you're Hindu or you're Muslim, and there's a universal thread that binds all of us. And this film for me was an opportunity to remind people that let's celebrate the similarities that we have and not constantly focus and denigrate the differences that we seem to possess. So that was really wonderful for me. And this role as a Sri Lankan, shooting it back in Sri Lanka, was also very, very humbling and just a dream to be back in the land where my roots are, my ancestors, my people are, my tribe. And I use the word tribe as a microcosm of the tribe of globality, Yeah, playing a Tamil tiger is something, you really have to take the time to respect the culture and the people and the weight that you carry with such a role. And I was just blessed to be given that opportunity by Deepa ji and to do that. So thank you. And thank you to all of you for having me here tonight. And I'm in the room with Howard Shaw. That's for me is just also to say that, one of the things about working with Deepa is that, she as an actor, you start here and your director starts somewhere here, and part of your journey is to listen to each other and learn from each other. And I don't know how much Deepa ji learned from me, but I learned a lot from her. But, to bring that vision together and to actually be on the same path, and that for me was just amazing. So, hey, whatever talent that I had was brought out by her. So thank you, though. Thank you for the kind words.
So let's raise a glass, and here's a toast to Deepa Mehta and producer David Hamilton for steering this ship so successfully.
Reuben, where are you, Reuben? My God, we had such an amazing time trying to cast Auntie Radha's lover. And it was, I'd seen auditions of Reuben for another part. And suddenly it came to me that he was the absolute ideal person because of his compassion and how soft he was. And I remember talking to him the first time, and he said, I'll talk to you a little later because I'm going in to see a movie with my son. And I thought, this is the guy to play Anil. Who cares, who has his priorities right? And you certainly did. He's just amazing. You are amazing as Anil. Such compassion, such love. And what you did for Auntie Radha was just, again, bring out the differences, because Reuben plays a Sinhalese to Radha, who plays a Tamil. And suddenly all the differences fall apart. And I think of the world as it is now, and I think that that's why, Shyam, your book is so important now more than ever, because it really does talk about solidarity. I keep on repeating myself. I mean, we are in such a divisive time right now that unless we learn to accept each other with our limitations and say we are all right, we'll never get it together. So thank you so much. Thank you, Reuben, for playing a perfect Anil. Thank you, Shyam, again, for writing such a beautiful book. Such a beautiful book.
And I'd like to also thank another one of Deepa Mehta's team members, which is Maithili, who seems to be the glue that keeps it all together, and she helps communicate all her needs to everybody. So welcome to the Misaff virtual red carpet, Maithili.
Oh my God, thank you. That is a lot for me to take in. I just have to say thank you. Like, I'm so overwhelmed right now to be in a virtual room, I would say, with so many people that I look up to, Deepa and David, who have been, like, I always call them the light in my darkness. For like anything that I've gone through in the past 5 years, they've always pushed me forward and made me who I am today. So I owe everything to them. To Arshad and Anya, for Misaff, they've been so supportive and so great to me personally as well, and always been around. To Howard Shore, whose music I have lived in since I was a child, and Lord of the Rings is something I watch, I think, every few months. So it's a world that I love and have lived in for very long. Or Shyam, whose books introduced me to Sri Lanka for the first time and that I studied in university. Or this amazing Funny Boy family that have kindly adopted me into their lives and put up with me spamming them at odd hours with emails and texting. Can you do this? Can you record this line? Can you, can you be here on time? So thank you all for the love, and for it's an honor to be part of this Funny Boy family.
I just wanted to share something with everyone here, which I think is super important, because no one in this room, Cast and Deepa and David and Shyam especially, everyone included, I've never told you guys this story before. So I had never read Funny Boy until last year. I had never picked it up, and I will tell you why. because as a child, as a teenager, as a young person, struggling with my sexuality in this country, in Sri Lanka, where homosexuality can still be criminalized under certain sections of our penal code, and the stigma that it brings with it. I had been in and out of bookshops many times, friends' places sometimes, stood in front of this book, wanted to pick it off a shelf, and I never could because I was scared. Because I knew if I picked up the book and if I went to the counter and I said, "Can I buy this book, please?" I had this feeling of, they'll know. They'll know about me, and I can't afford for that to happen. Already effeminate enough, they probably get it, but like they'll know. This will confirm it, and that was with me for like a huge part of my life. And then to move from the boy who was afraid to pick the book up off of the shelf to be the actor that ends up embodying the role in the movie is a huge part of I think my journey personally, but also the journey of this country, of Sri Lanka, and the journey that we have taken to get here right now, where conversation is open, where the discussion can be had right now. And I want to say in this moment again, thank you to Shyam so much, because Swimming in the Monsoon Sea is the first book of Shyam's that I read, not Funny Boy. Funny Boy is probably the last. And from that moment onward, literature like this has helped us through time to just be more open to conversations, because these are not easy conversations to have from in a place like here. And we're having them right now, and that was very special to me. So now that all of this has happened, I'm super stoked, super excited. Already conversations with local media has enabled this conversation to move further along, and it now involves so many other moving parts that hopefully in time will help have that conversation from a legal perspective. And I think that's important, because we're way behind, even countries like India. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And how fantastic that Deepa and David decided to pick this book off of a shelf that it had been on for almost 3 decades when no one else had, and to say it was time to tell this story. And it was time that more people got to see the story. So thank you for that. And yeah, it's just such a pretty amazing feeling.
Brandon, this is not the first time you made me cry, my son. It won't certainly be the last. But I have to say that I just really have to I feel very strongly for what Brandon just said, is that growing up in Pakistan, I've had so many friends, some of whom are my best buddies to date, and they would have to come out to me and some of my other liberal friends at the time in the 90s, when we were 18, 19 years old, because they could not say anything to their own family, or to their own brothers and sisters even. And I just want to go ahead and say that I'm sorry to all the people that we may have offended with this film, with the casting and God knows what. And I am sorry about that. We don't mean to offend anybody with our film. But the point is, at the end of the day, the fact that there are beautiful stories like this, important stories that can be told on a world stage, that's a beautiful thing. Because coming from Pakistan, I know that there's so many stories, and there's so many stories in India and the subcontinent that just cannot be even told because the government will ban it, or people will ban it, or something will happen. And the fact that this story is out there on such a main stage, I hope we can celebrate that as a collective. And I hope that we can move forth and really, really understand that this is something for all of us. So thank you.
It's very exciting that the opening film and the closing film are two such powerful films and discuss the attitudes that we are trying to change in South Asia and in Canada as well, where as far as our South Asian community is concerned. So great job. And Ali, you were magnificent. What a great film. I am so excited about A Funny Boy.
I think that in a way, that the way love doesn't know boundaries, I think hatred also doesn't know boundaries.
Very well said.
And this is what we have to actually arm ourselves against. If we want love to prevail, and I'm not a hippy-dippy here. I mean, all these people know that I'm tough as nails. But if we want it to prevail, then we must accept the fact that there is hatred there, and to fight it is a moral imperative. That's a humanitarian imperative for all of us. And discussions, dialogue, absolutely. That's what democracy is about. Freedom. But if you're going to block the freedom before it even has a chance, then I think that we're doing human beings an injustice. I think we're doing art an injustice. But can I please introduce the person without whom none of this had happened?
Yes.
Shyam, love your book. But we have here David Hamilton, who thinks he's brown, by the way, but he's not. Producer, my partner, ups and the downs and everything that we've been through for this film. David actually really believed in it. He didn't just believe in me, his partner, but he believed in all of us. He believed in Shyam's book. He believed in Maithili. He believed in every one of you as actors. And he believed so much that we could do it against all odds, because it's not easy trying to make a film about brown people where it's so strange, where many people don't even know where Sri Lanka is. It's so weird. And we're really lucky that we have, not only because of David, we got to make the film, because that's what it's all about, but because of him, we got Ava DuVernay to distribute the film. We are blessed in many ways. So I would like to introduce you to the man without whom nothing is possible, David Hamilton.
Yes. So it is true that I do forget, that I often tell this story that we were at an Indian restaurant with a group of Indian friends, and I happened to look around and I saw that, and I said to them, we're the only Indians here. I'd forgotten that I wasn't actually, but I think I am embraced. Deepa and I have been together for 25 years, and a large number of our friends are from the community. And so I think actually most of our friends forget as well. And so I am embraced by the Indian community, and I do forget. And I think that sometimes that's very useful in terms of the work that we do together, that Deepa and I have been working together for decades now, and we've developed a language for working together. And I think the one element that's important to us in what we decide to do, because there are only so many films in one's being. You can't do an infinite number of films, and we do look at opportunities to do stories, and some we decide not to do, and others we decide to throw everything behind. And the one ingredient that's very important to us is that there has to be some meaning behind it. It has to be meaningful in some way. The fundamental story, I don't mean to sound it like a message, but there has to be something that the audience is left with.
Start a dialogue.
That enables them to see their life in a different context, in a different way. And I think one of the elements that's important to us is that they're able in some way to feel some sense of harmony and some sense that we are one community, and that we can forget that we're not only part of the community we were born with. We're not only part of one particular religion or sect or
race,
color or race, but we actually can embrace and be seen as a larger part of humanity. And so that's why it was important for us to do this book, because we felt that this story had many, many layers to it, all of which were aimed towards creating a sense of that harmony. So thank you, Sham. Thank you for trusting us. And one of the things that, in terms of actually making the film, I often reflect on is that scene from Shakespeare in Love, where there's this theatrical producer who's being held against a post, and because the person that's interrogating them can't understand how he managed to make this theatrical production possible. And the producer says, I don't know, it's magic. And I think that we felt that, all of us have felt that throughout the process of making this film. And I think it's partly because all of us have brought some magic to it. So thank you for all of your magic.
Yep.
I just want to say something very quickly. I think you're referring to the Geoffrey Rush scene of Shakespeare in Love. If I'm not mistaken, I love that film. It's one of my favorite films. No, but I just want to say, David, that to me anyway, it's David Hamilton. It's Mehta Hamilton production, and I always describe David as the yin to Deepa's yang. There is a synergy that the two of them have, and an understanding that they have not only of each other, but on such a global and a universal scale that is so amazing to see. And to me, they're a power couple. And I have so much love and respect for you, David, as a man, as a human being. And it was just as much as I was scared of Deepa when I first met her, I felt very comfortable with you when I first met you. and you know, it's really wonderful. And thank you for putting me at ease when I first walked on set, because I came in kind of halfway through the filming, not knowing anyone anything. And I never forget the first time I met you downstairs in the lobby of the hotel, and I shook your hand and I looked you in the eye and I was like, okay, this is going to be okay. And you did that for me. So I just want to let you know that. I don't know if you do know that. So thank you.
I want to, if I can, very quickly just share a story about David and Deepa. So we were shooting the garage scene, and it was a very intense day of emotions, and Deepa was there guiding us through everything, you know. And we were on a break. We were shifting between a scene, and it was a closed set. And I remember seated outside, just like having some water. And I saw Deepa go looking for David. She was like, David, where are you? Where are you? And when she finally found him, she caught him by the hand, and she, you know, went through, and they moved through all of the stools and chairs and monitors and whatnot. And she took him into the monitor, and she showed him the shot, and she was like, look at this, see this. Don't you think that's lovely? And there was this moment that was happening between the two of them. And I went and I remember told Ali, I think at that point, I was like, you know, I saw this outside just now, and I want that. I want that out of a partnership, because that is a partnership where you can share this moment of your art and lean into each other and trust each other's judgment, and, you know, look for everything within each other. It's like that's the one. That's the goal.
Nimi, I want you to say something, because you are such an integral part of this film.
Thank you. It's something that you said about the fact that not many people know about Sri Lanka. And I remember when I was at school in England, I grew up in England. You know, in England, you study British history, and we were studying World War I then, and we were taken to Belgium, and we were shown the names of all the soldiers that had died on this wall. And a lot of the girls were crying, and I was crying, because I was looking at this, and it was a very emotional moment for me. And the teacher came up to me and she said, why are you crying? You've never gone through anything like this. This is not your war. This is, you know, our war. And I was silenced, and I never spoke up to tell her that shortly before that, I was here in Sri Lanka during the 83 riots. And I watched as my family was injured, as they were taken out of cars and, you know, beaten up, and, you know, we went through a lot. But I was silenced. I was not allowed to share the fact that, yes, I can also cry, because I've also experienced something that actually happened much nearer to now, to this time. And so this film is an extremely important moment for me, having also read the book just as it came out on so many levels, but especially for me this level, because as you know, Deepa, I told you when we were filming at the DBU, looking across, and it was the scene with the ambulances, and looking across to see my great aunt's house, and remembering that, you know, it was ransacked, it was attacked during the 83 riots. She had to escape across, you know, the wall behind her house to her neighbors. And actually being in that moment was amazing, because I was in a film about a situation that I actually lived through with my family. And I can't begin to express how it feels for me and how important it is for people to see this film, as you said, because people don't know Sri Lanka. They don't know what's happened here. And so many people deny what happened here, even in this country. To actually have that out there, and it soon will be, is explosive.
Very amazing story of your own personal life in Sri Lanka and the reflection back to us in the film. I think for me personally, I know a lot of Tamil Sri Lankans as well, and I grew up with them in high school. And this period of time is ingrained on us and ingrained on me. So it also, like Arshad was mentioning, resonates with all of us. It means so much to us to see Sri Lanka depicted, and this particular time depicted and given a world stage. So thank you so much.
Brandon, first of all, your story is just really lovely. And I was so touched by it. And what's over the 25 years the book's being published, I've heard that story before from queer Sri Lankans who come up to me in all sorts of situations, both in Sri Lanka, but also in the diaspora. And I'm just really pleased that this film will yet again, bring in a new audience who will see themselves in the movie and come out, and be comfortable with themselves. And so thank you very much for that. And Nimi, I just like you, I share all that pain of 1983. But I also, like you, come from a mixed ethnic family, and my mother is Sinhalese, and so there's something really important in the movie about solidarity across these ethnic boundaries, which seems sort of, when you come from a mixed marriage, they seem kind of ephemeral. They seem so ridiculous. And I was talking to my sister earlier today, just talking about, our family, and she said, how lucky we are that we grew up in this mixed race, mixed ethnic family, because we just grew up in this environment of tolerance. And she said to me, you brought that to the book, and that's so important, and that's such an important part of who we are as a family. And, Arshad, you mentioned my father wanting to tell people that I was gay. He just loved doing it. He just loved doing it because he had married my mother against great odds. I mean, they had a very hard time getting married. And so now he completely understood the idea of love, across boundaries. And he just really embraced it. And he would actually get mad at me when I came out to aunts and stuff. He said, no, that's for me to do, not for you to tell them. And I knew he just liked sticking it to them, which is why he did that. So I don't think I've really said that, Deepa. I'm so just utterly grateful to you for taking on the film and for just doing it so wonderfully. Like, it's just such a amazing portrayal of my book. And I think most people never get their books made into films, and most films that are adapted are really disappointing to authors. And I know that because I know these authors. And I just think it's such luck that it's such a great film, and it's so true to the message of the novel. And I knew you could do it. I never had any doubt about it. And then when I saw the film, I was just so touched by it and so moved I'll never forget that moment of leaving the cinema and going out onto Queen Street and just feeling like, I was just on high, and I just turned to my partner and I said, we did it. I can't believe we've actually done this, because Deepa and I have been on this journey together from the beginning, working on the screenplay and looking at and she always shared the auditions with me, and then taking and very sweetly agreeing to see people like Nimi and Brandon, whom I wanted her to look at and consider. And I really appreciate the way you work as a team, Deepa. I mean, I think that's just something amazing about you. Not all directors are like that at all, from what I hear. And I just think it's wonderful that you always allow us to contribute. And I'm really deeply grateful.
Thank you.
That's so
much.
wonderful.
I'm sure all the actors disagree, because I wouldn't. I say sorry. We can't go there. But no, I'm just kidding. I mean,
no, but that's what I love about you. You just say. I mean, I hate all this going around behind people's backs. You just say it. Yes, I like that. No, can you fix that? No to that at all. I really appreciate the kind of relationship of honesty that we have had over the course of this film.
It's wonderful to meet all of you, and congratulations to everybody here today. This is a real pleasure to be with you for this hour. Composers are fairly reclusive by nature, and usually at the end of a film, it's just me and the director turning off the light at the end of the final mix. So this is really fun to meet the cast, hear your views of the film. And I just think you've done wonderful work. You've made a beautiful film. It was very inspiring to me to write music for the film. So thank you, Deepa. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody who contributed to the beautiful film.
I have a question, David.
Sure.
What kind of research did you have to conduct in order to create this music?
Well, the world of the film seemed so universal to me that I wasn't focusing so much on a certain culture or geography. I was just thinking of the world of love and as Deepa says, of humanity. And these pieces started to arrive. They just, very intuitively, I feel something and I can express it. I'm lucky that way, that I can express the ideas in music and hope they relate to you as the viewer and to the film in a way that's truthful. I like to read, so the book sort of set me on the path, but I believe I watched the film and then read, I had seen the film and then I had seen sort of parts of the film, and then I was involved with the book. But I'm very interested in the original work, and I've done a lot of literary adaptions with different directors, and so I'm always, very interested in the source of the ideas and trying to express those ideas. And actually, I just saw bits of the film. I hadn't seen the whole film, which to me is really ideal because I can really combine my first impression of the scenes that I saw in Rotterdam and and then of course the book that I had. So that's a winning combination to me. That's a great start to the score.
To Misaff, thank you, all three of you, Asma, Anya, my darling Arshad. But I would really like to mention Doug Coe, who did the cinematography for this film. I mean, his work is magic too. I mean, he went for the emotional center of the scene, and I remember when I said, Doug, we can't have any lights because this has to be as much natural light as possible. He got one light, and we were shooting a scene in the train, which is a horrific train scene where there's a massacre happening of the Tamils. And suddenly I saw something, and Doug stood in front of the only light he had. He said, "There's nothing here, Deepa." So he just went for it. He just was so wonderful. He went for the emotional center of the scene. He understood that the actors dictated the camera and not the other way around. And he got that. He was wonderful. The other person I would really like to, I'm in awe of is Teresa Font, our editor. Teresa Font, who's a Spanish editor, a great humanitarian editor who lives in Madrid. And I remember when David said, who would you really like to edit this film? I said, I didn't know her name, but I said, whoever edited
Almodovar.
Pain and Glory by Almodovar, because I'd just seen Pain and Glory and I thought it was so beautifully, so lyrically edited. And so he said, okay, let's find out. And we found Teresa Font. Then we found another person who knew Teresa, and she said yes. It was like Howard said yes, Teresa said yes, Doug Coe said yes, and all these brilliant actors said yes. And now we have a film that I hope does justice to your wonderful world, Sham. So thank you so much, all of you. That's
May
it.
I also add the production design? The production design.
Oh my God! See, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, where you get into where it's what I learned actually from my brother, and you, Arshad, you would know, is that what kind of medicine is on the bedside of an older man. This is what it's the details. And the details married with the editing, married with the music, married with the... it wasn't just the technical becoming apart from the creative. This film for me is where there is a complete marriage of all crafts. So for me, I feel that this film is a collaborative. I'd love to say it's my film, and sometimes I do when I'm feeling a bit egoistical, but it's not. It's all of ours. This film belongs to all of us. So thank you all.
Our heartfelt thanks to the Funny Boy team for joining us today on this virtual red carpet gala. We wish the film a lot of success and hope that it makes it all across the world and brings this message of unity and understanding and love to every household. Misaff runs from the 4th to the 12th of December. We have lots of amazing fiction features, documentary features, and short films, as well as industry panels and talks. Please tell your friends and invite people to join us on this journey. And I hope you enjoy your evening. Welcome to Misaff.